Hi, Jen.
Hey Kevin, how are you?
Good. Welcome to class. Why don't you say hello to everybody and tell them a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hey guys, how are you? My name's Jennifer. I'm a current pharmaceutical sales rep. And the funny thing is when I was sitting in your place, I never thought that I would actually get up every day and love the job that I go to, but I do. I love being a sales rep. I love sales and everything that comes along with it. I've been doing this job for about 3 years, but as Kevin had mentioned earlier, we did work at Enterprise prior to that. Um, I really enjoy the job. It's uh, it's very. I made the well, let me tell you this. I made the transition from enterprise to pharmaceutical sales because I really enjoy the aspect of speaking to doctors about medications, and in turn, I know that the medications that I sell help people. I am a respiratory pharmaceutical sales rep. I sell actually asthma products. Some of you may actually be asthmatics and may take some of the inhalers that I actually sell. Um, I call on pediatricians, pulmonologists, and also allergists as well. I work in a single territory, so actually it's all me. I am the only point of contact for that office, which I actually like. Reason being is because that office knows that I am the person that they can always reach out to whenever they need anything. It's just about taking accountability and ownership of my job. And that's one thing that I really, really love about my job. I get up every morning, I go to my first office, I see about between 8 to 13 doctors a day. My company provides me with a list of physicians. These physicians are already doctors that are writing specific drugs that are in the class of drugs that I sell, so asthma products, basically. So I already know where I'm going, which is great. The challenge for me when I first got to my territory was just, meeting these doctors and the staff and building the relationship. That's always the challenge in sales when you're first starting out. But once you get over that hump and you see the rewards of your hard work, especially, us being in sales, Kevin and I, like before, we like to see those dollar signs. So, once you reap the benefits of hard work, it's truly rewarding, not only in your pocket, but just the fact that you feel like you're doing a good job. And
Hey, Jen. A big part of your job you mentioned earlier was building relationships is kind of key. So, being that said, that's a big part of your job. Tell us a little bit about how building relationships is a big part of your job.
Kevin, building relationships is a huge part of my job. Honestly, and I never realized it until I was in pharmaceutical sales. I mean, granted, with Enterprise, it was such a quick transaction, and we always did want to be friendly to every customer that we saw. However, with pharmaceutical sales, you're not just dealing with one person. And this is in a lot of sales jobs. Whatever you're selling, whether it be medical devices, whether it be printing products, whether it be copiers, whether it be pharmaceuticals, you're not just dealing with one person. What a lot of us in the industry like to say, the first person that you meet is that gatekeeper. What that means is it's that person that you have to get past to get access to that office. Now, I can tell you, there have been times where I just thought that I was never going to get past that gatekeeper. You don't know the sort of person you're going to run into, and you need to be ready for anything and to not take it personally. I had a particular office, for example, where they just had a bad experience with a couple of reps, a couple farm reps. So basically, she had a bad taste in her mouth, and I just had to build rapport with her and just let her know that, I was just a normal person coming in with my products, and I was going to be a resource to that office, and I was going to make her life easier in some way, shape, or form, along with the rest of the employees in the office. Building relationships not only with the gatekeepers, so you can get past them to see the nurses, the staff, the respiratory therapists, and the doctor, because the doctor is the person at the end that you really want to see. So winning over with the gatekeeper, just being yourself, being friendly, actually caring about them, not just asking silly questions, asking them about their lives and remembering. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people forget. As long as you remember the little details, people will really respect you, and they know that you actually care, that you're not just coming in pushing a product on them, and then leaving their office. So that's how you develop a relationship and then a friendship, which is very nice. And then that way you can go back and see the doctor.
Hey, about seeing the doctor, Jen, you had mentioned in some of our chats that communication style is a big part of your job. You're dealing with different doctors, and that might change the way you approach them. Talk a little bit about how communication styles are a big part of your job.
Okay, Kev, communication styles are a huge part of the job as well. Just like everything else, it all comes together. It's all a piece of the pie. Basically, as we all know, there are tons of personalities out there, just like there are in your class right now. Basically, when you're selling to someone, you really need to be able to adapt to the person that they are. For example, I talked about the gatekeeper. Not every gatekeeper at that front desk is going to not let you get back to see the doctor. Not every nurse is not going to give you the time. For example, with doctors, which I had said before, pretty much the most important, there are some doctors that are very amiable, which means they'll just nod their head and tell you whatever you want so you can get out of their office. Basically, that's a little bit difficult. What I always suggest in that instance is asking open-ended questions. I have some doctors that are very clinical. So what that means is I know that I have to bring in clinical data, which is clinical trials from our with the medication that was used, and I have to go through the clinical data with the doctor so they feel more comfortable prescribing. I often leave the information behind as well. I have some doctors that after going in time after time, I know that I can say, hey, how was your weekend? How was your trip to the Bahamas? How was your son's graduation? Like I said, going back to remembering the little things that matter, people will be more surprised when you not only see them as a doctor, as a gatekeeper, as a nurse, but as a person as well. And then in turn, they ask you about your life too. So that's building a relationship. You're not just Jen, the sales rep, Kevin, the sales rep. You're actually Jen. You're a person. And people do not like to be sold to. They like to be helped.
Doing great, Jen.
Thanks, Kev.
Hey, Jen, you also mentioned, once you get in with these doctors, then it's kind of like, all right, go time. You really kind of have to know what you're talking about. You need to have some product knowledge. So maybe you can tell a little bit about how your job involves really knowing your product, having product knowledge, knowing about your competition.
Okay, basically with pharmaceutical sales, we went through extensive training. It was about a month-long training, and periodically we are tested on our products. We take online tests, and we have to pass those tests. It's imperative that we pass these tests. We learn about the disease state. For me, it's about asthma. We learn about each product. I sell 3 products. And then also, it's very, very important, I can't stress this enough, to know about your competitor. Because, 5 minutes after you leave your office, your competitor is walking right through that door, and everything that you said to your doctor is just, could just be forgotten about. So basically, you need to know your competitor's information as well, so you can better sell your product, so you can sell against your competitor. You need to know what things make your product different than the competitor. Why should the doctor use your product over the competitor? Why is that? Well, doctor, this is the reason why. I'm showing you my clinical data. Here's why you should use the product. This also goes along with what I had said earlier. When you go into an office, you can't always have an agenda. You have to ask the open-ended questions. Doctor, what's important to you when you're prescribing asthma medication? And then you can find out what's important to them and move forward.
Hey, Jen, speaking of open-ended questions, you had mentioned a big part of your job is uncovering customer needs. In this case, the doctor's needs, the patient's needs, and you do that with open-ended questions. Maybe you can talk about how a big part of your job is uncovering customer needs and how you go about that.
The way that I go about uncovering customer needs, and I've said this a few times, is asking open-ended questions. And by an open-ended question, I mean something like, doctor, like I had said earlier, what is important to you when you're prescribing asthma medication for your asthmatics? An example of not an open-ended question would be like, doctor, how many asthma products do you use per day? And basically, it's just a one-word, we write 5 per day. That's it. The doctor could basically just shut you down right there. Basically, excuse me.
What are some more open-ended questions or examples of how you uncover customer needs?
For example, let me think of this right now. I have a few doctors who you basically need to learn their hot buttons. And also, it's not just through the doctors, it's through the staff as well. And by staff, I said nursing, respiratory therapists, people that make the appointments. Some doctors, their big hot button is managed care. They say to me, Jennifer, what tier is your product on? Meaning, when their patient goes to the pharmacy, are they going to pay $10, $20, $30? What is the cost to the patient? So some doctors, they say, the cost to the patient is the most important. Right now, I'm very fortunate because our product is actually $0, which is huge for a sales rep and great to promote. But that's important to them. Some doctors, they want to know what are the side effects. What can a patient expect? Some of them want to just know the mechanism of the inhaler. Does it have a counter on top? Some also want to know, let me think, for example, how long is the time of onset? When will the patient feel the relief from the product that they're using? But again, like I had said before, it's asking these open-ended questions to kind of get to the heart of the matter.
And once you kind of feel like you've gotten enough information from the doctors, you mentioned a big part of your job was, when it's kind of time to maybe present or, try out some presentation strategies, maybe some trial closing. Explain to us how your job requires you to do some presentation strategies.
Basically, the way that works is, well, through training, we had done a ton of role plays. Role playing back and forth with maybe my manager and myself and the rest of our team. Basically, let's see here. What we use is Master Visual Aid, and it's basically a colorful folded, I'm trying to think, it's very colorful. It has charts. It has clinical data, other clinical data. It has the highlights of our drugs and how it can affect the patient, but in a simple format that when I'm speaking to the doctor, basically I can hold it up and point A, B, C, and just a quick, hey doctor, I just wanted to tell you real fast, don't forget our product is $0 copay for your patient. Hey doctor, don't forget, this is the incidence of the side effects for your patient. Hey doctor, last time I was in, we talked about X, Y, and Z. Hey doctor, I just want to show you again. The more you show the doctor your visual aid, the more that they'll remember. That's why you see so many commercials. The more you see the commercials, the more you remember. So when I walk into that office, I have my visual aid. Sometimes I even hold my drug in my hand, or I'll have actual clinical data that the doctor can take home and review at his or her leisure. But this has proven to be very effective, and also it's something that the doctor can concretely see to back up everything that I'm saying.
Awesome. And, you told me how much you love your job and you love the independence that you have to kind of plan your day and go about your day and really run your own show. And you said a big part of that is your ability to manage yourself and manage your sales numbers. That way you can continue to get that freedom and not get micromanaged by your boss. Tell us a little bit about how your job involves you managing yourself, your time, and your numbers.
Okay, a lot of the job is, like Kevin said, managing myself. So what that really means is each week we're presented with a thing called a scorecard. It ranks the reps. That's very important for compensation, for promotions. Currently, I'm ranked number 8 out of 111 reps on my team, which is awesome. I'm very excited about that. What that could mean, too, is maybe going to President's Club, which is top honors for a sales rep. But basically, managing my time, and like Kevin said, we get data each week that tells us what doctors are writing what scripts. So I have to analyze that and say, where do I need to spend my time? Where is my time most valuable? Where am I going to get the return on investment? How many samples did I provide to each office, and how many scripts are being written? So basically, that's the analyzation that I do on my own time after hours or in the morning, and then I get up every day, and then I just go to see about 8 to 13 doctors a day. I'm held accountable through my computer. I get doctors to sign for the prescriptions. Also, I make notations so I can remember for the next call the conversations that we had. But like Kevin said, it's really about time management. It's about making appointments for lunches or doing a breakfast, or, hey, can I have a 10-minute appointment with the doctor? It's trying to get in front of the doctor as much as you can to sell your product. But you know what? The most important thing is always being on time. It goes without saying, being punctual, being early, just being prepared. When they see that you're prepared, that already sets the tone for what you're about to present them with. Them meaning the office, the nurse, the doctor, the medical assistant. But it's always about being prepared and just heading into the office. Like I said to Kevin, I've told him many times, I absolutely love my job, and I never thought that I would say that, but this is the truth. I really do love my job. That's all seriousness. I love it. Love what I do, love talking to the doctors, and I hope that when you guys are out doing your jobs one day, that you can say that you love your job as well. And I hope that I provided some good information, that you kind of see what a day in the life of a pharmaceutical sales rep is like, that it just helps you with your course and helps you along your career path, all right? Take care, guys.
Hey, Jen, I'm glad that you shared your experience with us and how much you love personal selling. It's because you did so good, we want to know more about you. Tell us, what's your favorite TV show and why?
Oh, my favorite TV show, geez. Gosh, I really like Grey's Anatomy. Go figure. I'm a pharmaceutical sales rep and I like a medical show. I love Grey's Anatomy, and another funny one is Castle. I don't know if anyone watches Castle. That's when I have time to watch TV. But that's basically it. So take care, guys. Bye.